And in business news, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, has reaffirmed the country's commitment to producing 10 billion standard cubic feet of gas per day by 2030. This is contained in a statement by the Director of Information and Public Relations in the ministry, Mr. Mohamed Manga Abuja. The minister, while receiving the management of the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Limited, discussed critical issues aimed at shaping the future of Nigeria's gas industry. He said Nigeria had made progress towards more competitive and investor-friendly environment, adding that President Bola Tinubu had stabilized the economy. Earlier, the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Limited CEO, Mr. Philip Mashebela, updated the minister on operations at the NLNG, which includes stronger gas supply, improved security on the Trans-Niger pipeline, and capacity utilization above 70% on infrastructure. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has announced the establishment of a dedicated compliance department, marking a significant step in its efforts to enhance regulatory responsibilities. The Apex Bank, in its circular signed by Olubunmi Ayodele Oni, said the new department was created in Q1 2025 with full operational responsibilities commencing in Q2 of 2025. According to the circular, the move is part of a broader structural reform aimed at consolidating oversight functions, clarifying institutional roles, and ensuring supervision of non-prudential risk. The Apex Bank directs all financial institutions to channel future reports and inquiries to the Director of Compliance Department via established communication protocols. Meanwhile, Nigeria's economy showed positive momentum in early 2025, with real GDP expanding by 3.13% in Q1, driven largely by growth in the services sector. Inflation also moderated significantly, easing from over 34% to around 24%. Economic experts have commended this shift, noting that current policies are beginning to yield positive results. Economist and tax manager at PricewaterhouseCoopers, Mr. Abiodun Kayode Ali, lauded President Bola Tinubu's reforms, describing them as critical to sustaining economic growth and development.
Our foreign reserves has gone back to a record high, about $40 billion, right? So these are some of the things that we've seen, which were achieved as a result of the policies that were put in place by the current administration, right? Yeah. So lots of positives we can say there. If you consider the impact to the people in terms of the micro, right? We know that they did come with some pains, right? But like most economists have said, as well as international organizations, these pains were necessary, right? And they've also advised that Nigeria stays the course. I think one good thing we can also pick from there has to do with the stability of the foreign exchange, right? We've seen a situation whereby the foreign exchange has been hovering around 1,500 for a significant period of time, right? Yeah. I mean, these are some of the things that we were calling for, right? Especially when you look at the difference between the arbitrage in the parallel market as well as the official rate. There was that wide arbitrage which we had.
It was worrisome, disparity.
This has been narrowed down.
The Lagos State government has announced the commencement of stakeholders consultative forum for the year 2026 budget. The exercise is designed to provide Lagosians with opportunities to make inputs that will shape the state's developmental priorities for the coming year. The forum will bring together a broad spectrum of stakeholders, including community development association, traditional rulers, professionals and religious bodies, civil society groups and non-governmental and trade organizations, youth, people living with disabilities and the general public. The consultative sessions will hold in 5 divisions, reflecting the state government's commitment to participatory governance and evidence-based planning. Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Okpe George, emphasized that the Stakeholders Forum is a cornerstone of Lagos State's budgetary process to ensure the voices of people remain at the center of governance. Asian stocks tracked Wall Street's rise to a record high, and Treasury yields eased to a 4-month low today as traders cemented bets for the Federal Reserves to cut rates this month. US dollar eased, giving up small gains as traders adjusted positions ahead of the labor export. Expectations of an easier monetary environment had supported global equities as S&P 500 futures pointed 0.2% higher on Friday and Nasdaq futures advanced 0.4%. Japan's Nikkei rose 0.9% and Taiwan stocks benchmark climbed 1.1%. Hong Kong Hang Seng added 0.8%, while mainland Chinese blue chips advanced 1%. Australian stocks gained 0.5%. President Donald Trump led leaders of the world's biggest technology companies in a version of his cabinet meetings in which each participant took a turn thanking him on his efforts to promote investments in chip manufacturing and artificial intelligence. Tech giants at the meeting included Apple CEO Mr. Tim Cook and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. The dinner comes at a time when tech leaders are pushing for a hands-off government approach to AI, and as current FTC chair Andrew Ferguson is critical of big techs.
AI for our foundation is that we want a doctor for everyone in Africa through AI. We want farmers to have incredible advice and kids to have a chance to learn. So the work being done by the people at this table is changing the world. It's coming fast, so it's great. We all get together and talk about how the U.S. can lead in this key area and apply it even to the poorest outside the U.S. as well as to our great citizens. So thank you for incredible leadership, including getting this group together.
All of the companies here are making huge investments in the country in order to build out data centers and infrastructure to power the next wave of innovation. So it's, we don't often get together as the CEOs of the different companies, but it's good to see everyone.
This is taking our country to a new level. We're leading the world. We're leading China, but we're leading the world by a lot, and we're leading it because of the people around the table. And all I can do is implement and make it a lot easier for you, and I'll be doing that 100%.
Finally, crude oil prices extended decline into a third session for a weekly lows for the first time in 3 weeks. As supply expectations grow, U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude fell to $63.20 with a downward price review of 0.44%. Brent crude futures sells for $66.75 with a downward review of 0.36%. Bonnie Light sells for $78.62 with a decline of 2.84%. For the OPEC basket, dealers offer $71.32 per barrel with a downward margin of 0.86%. That's Business at 1. Next is sports. I'll see you at the top of the hour for Business Nigeria. Good afternoon.